don't have to know how exactly you do things. They just have to know the challenges that you can face, but it's up to you to communicate how they can help you in that process.
A cartoon of a man sitting at a computer typing on a keyboard. The view zooms out and we see dozens of other identical men working in office cubicles. The screen goes black. The words "working blind" appear in green, typed out as if on an older style computer. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sam with The Blind Life. Welcome back to another episode in our Working Blind series, where we talk to amazing people in the VIP community and find out what they do for a living to hopefully inspire you guys out there for what types of jobs and careers are available to the blind. So we've got somebody pretty cool here today. We will jump right into it. Mystery guest, thank you so much for joining me today. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what your name is?
Hi, everybody. It's so great to be here. My name is Blake Steinecke.
Blake, awesome. Thank you, sir. And what is your vision impairment?
So I have a condition called LHON, which stands for Leber's Hereditary Optic Neuropathy. And I grew up with perfect vision. And from the age of 16 to 17, this condition caused me to go through severe central vision loss caused by the deterioration of optic nerve fibers.
Okay. What's your acuity? Do you know that?
Yeah, so my acuity is roughly 2800, and it's pretty bad since I have no central vision. It's just static, blurry nothingness, but I do have some peripheral vision, which is functional for some tasks.
Yeah, and LHON is very similar to what I have with Stargardt's, kind of manifests the same way. And my
Definitely.
bad eye is around 2800. So we're pretty similar, you and I.
For sure.
All right. So, Blake, what do you do for a job?
Currently, I work in marketing and accessibility for a company called Clusiv, and Clusiv is an online learning platform for the blind community to learn occupational training, technology skills, and other educational courses to help remove barriers to employment. I started out part-time with them in back in June, doing marketing contract work, and then just about a little over a month ago, I became full-time and I've been working on a variety of different projects with QA and the software engineering team to help make sure all the products that we develop, especially since we're built for the blind and built by the blind, just making sure everything is built accessibly, whether that's our online platform or our mobile apps. So really exciting to get that, be a part of the technical feedback process there and make sure we make some awesome accessible things, and also helping with a variety of marketing tasks and projects to help make sure that we can reach the blind community and just help with removing barriers to employment and providing the training needed in that process.
Yeah, a lot of the similar stuff that I do in my day job, teaching, especially assistive technology, accessible software. So that's pretty cool. Now, speaking of training, what kind of training or education did you have to get in order to do this job?
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting answer and experience it's been for me. I went to college at Cal State San Marcos in North County, San Diego, and there I got my degree in marketing and minor in Spanish. I did a variety of internships in marketing, which was really helpful to get the work experience while in school, because I feel like some of the hardest parts about navigating the workforce is not the difficulty of tasks at hand, but it's communicating your vision loss, advocating for yourself, getting accommodations. And so through those internships in college, it really helped build those skills. And kind of a funny note, I was even a tour guide for prospective students of our college. And that was pretty funny being a blind tour guide, but that's a whole other story in itself. But lots of different things to learn the soft skills needed for employment, and any experience is great experience to build on. And then after graduating, I worked in software sales for a little bit, and it was a good experience learning about sales. But as important as it is to learn what you want to do in a career, it's important to know what you don't want to do. And I quickly learned I don't want to do just sales. And from there, while I was working at that company, I started to do some contract marketing work for a mountain bike gear company called Tates. I've always loved mountain biking from before my vision. Continue to ride by using a guide that talks me through the trail. So it was awesome to start working for that company, just doing some a bit of contract work, doing a project with them, but that ended up turning into full-time work, and was a good experience to have like just work on one project, contract work part-time, and see how that turned into more. And then it was great to work in industry I was very passionate about. Learned a ton about marketing, especially being in a small business. Got to see a lot of different parts of the business, but then in certain ways realized it was a bit of a dream job from before my vision loss. So at the beginning of this year, I took a pivot and realized I wanted to work in accessibility, just because I have such a passion for technology and I've faced many challenges in school and work and more. Um, and through that, this year I did a couple contract work opportunities doing accessibility testing, training, and accessibility research studies, and also just a lot of learning in my free time because accessibility, the field is not a very clearly charted path. And I also don't come from a technical background to become like a developer in the field or something. Um, and then just through a lot of networking and learning a lot, building my experience, connecting it to a variety of areas, I was able to end up where I'm at, which really combines a lot of my passions, my experiences, and is kind of a long story short and long to kind of like the background of training to get here.
So now in your current position, what kind of accommodations do you get, whether that's like different tools, adaptive equipment, softwares, things like that?
Definitely. So I use a variety of assistive technologies, and I've tried a lot of different things to figure out what works best for me. And I think in any job that you do, it's important to test out what works best. And currently, I use a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I connect that to a 27-inch 4K LG monitor. So I use a combination of magnification and voiceover, so having that large screen to zoom in when I need is very helpful, especially it being high resolution. When I zoom in, it still looks very quality. And I found that I like the combination of magnification and voiceover, that they work very smoothly together compared to Fusion or in JAWS or in Zoom Text. Um, but I did use JAWS in the past more, and I still currently use JAWS a little bit for work. And I also use my iPhone and iPad with voiceover and magnification. So quite a different variety of tools.
So based on where you work now, I think I already know the answer to this, but how accepting are your coworkers of your vision impairment?
Yeah, currently it's great since there's about 17 employees and about half are blind or low vision. So it makes for a great work environment and doesn't mean everything is going to be perfect, even if there is that amount of blind people in a company. But uh, it's amazing to see the understanding and the passion for accessibility that everybody has, as well as the uh, advantages to having more blind employees and seeing the adversity that people have been through and how it makes strong people. But in the past, there's definitely been more challenges with communicating my vision loss and others being unsure how I can do certain tasks. And it's definitely, long story short, kind of concluded that people don't have to know how exactly you do things. They just have to know the challenges that you can face and how they can help you. But it's up to you to communicate how they can help you in that process. So um, that's kind of how it's gone for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you already talked about some of the other jobs, and I can't not go back and talk about you being a tour guide at your college. My daughter is applying for colleges, and we've done several college tours recently, and so I've been on
Yeah.
several of these tours lately, and I just think that's awesome. So did people know that you were visually impaired while you were giving the tour? Like, did you tell anybody or what? Are you a cane user? Because that would kind of give it away, I guess.
Yeah, well, the thing is now I'm a cane user. When I was a tour guide, I was not, and I did all I could to cover up my vision, which is not a strategy I would recommend. But it is a part of accepting vision loss is accepting like blindness. And as a tour guide, I did all I could to cover it up, and nobody ever found out. There were times people would ask about certain things, and they're like, "What's that over there?" And I'm like, "What's what?" And they're like, "That over there." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And uh, I would give an answer based on my best guess, and I was most always right, um, and made things work. And one time someone same thing, "What's that over there? What's what?" And then I'm like thinking, what would it be? What's random around here? And I'm like, oh, it's a frisbee golf hole. And like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if they were pointing at a building or something, that
Yeah.
would be so bad.
Well, I think that's awesome. I think it would be totally, how cool would that be if I were on a college tour and a guy walked up, like, especially with a cane, it's like, all right, we're going on a
Yeah.
tour. Let's go. Follow me. I'd be like,
Yes.
yes, this college is awesome.
Yes.
Well, Blake, so thank you so much, man, for taking a minute to help with this interview or this series. I really appreciate it. Blake is also a YouTuber. Real quickly, talk about your YouTube channel.
Absolutely. So this I have a YouTube channel called Adapting Sight, and it's all about sharing about technology and its accessibility for the blind community, helping teaching how to use certain types of technology, and also sharing about how I make cameras and content creation accessible, as that's become a huge passion for me since my vision loss. So feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Adapting Sight.
Yeah, and I'll put links in the description down below, both for that and also Clusiv, if anybody's interested in learning more about that. All right, if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out all the other episodes in this series, the Working Blind series. If you've missed some, then check out the playlist. I'll have a link to the playlist down below. If you have any questions for me, please let me know also down below in the comments. I'll do my best to help out. And if you liked it, as always, please give a like, thumbs up, helps out the channel. Share it with all your family and friends. That's pretty awesome as well. That's it for this one, guys. This is Sam and Blake signing off with The Blind Life. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Goodbye, everybody.